Hey Tiger Rock, here's what you can be working on at home. Post into our Facebook group. This is Tactical Online lesson number 4. So, with that in mind, this week we've been working on knees, starting with our inclusive class. The knees we were working on before, and last week we were working on elbows as well. We were talking about making sure that they're coming up high, not just this. So, parents, take a pillow, take something, but we're going to combine knees and elbows. What I want to see is a downward and upward. Have them go down with the elbow, up with the knee. Down with the elbow, up with the knee. So pillow in between, movement down and movement up. Keep the pillow high enough that they have to actually lift, not doing this. Now, if they're more advanced, some of the ones that can do more coordinated, whatever, go elbow, elbow, knee, knee, elbow, elbow, knee, knee. That'll give that movement. Otherwise, just have them do one, do the other. If it's more difficult and that's just, they're not picking that up, have them do 10 elbows, have them do 10 knees. Like just do it, just knees, just elbows, etc. So those are your options on that. And then working the side kick. Now, what we want is the lateral hip motion. If they can lift and push, that's great. If all you're able to get is this, then I'm fine with that because it's still getting that motion. What we don't want is to make it forward. If you put a pillow or put a cushion or something for them to kick right here on the side, make sure they don't turn their body and do this with their toes pointed up. You want to keep them sideways and doing this, and the better they are, the better they should pull that side kick. So those things for them. And then lastly, bear crawl backwards. And again, give them things to crawl around in the house. See if they can go around the island in the kitchen and in between chairs and stuff like that. But give them that option and have them bear crawl and have to navigate going backwards. It'll be great work for them. If that's too much, still do that bear crawl forward. You may have, for some of them, you may have to hold their knees up to make it not touch. Make sure it's just hands and feet touching the floor. That's what the inclusive class can work on over the weekend. Tiger Cubs, a few things working on this weekend, over the weekend at home. Now, first of all, Tiger Rock has added to the curriculum for the Tiger Cubs as they have gotten more and more advanced. So, a couple things. First off, the ability to balance on one leg for 10 seconds and also to do 10 hops without stopping whatever in a row. And I like that Tiger Rock did that because we used to have the balance thing, but the kids would hop. Now, it's two different things. They've got to be able to balance for 10 seconds on one foot, and they've got to be able to hop 10 times. They are not the same thing. So that's a new one, and I like that they've distinguished that. In addition, Tiger Cubs are starting to put together combinations. So, combination for Taekwondo is front leg, front arm, back leg. And the purpose is to be able to recognize which is which. So, keep the body sideways, pick any kick with the front leg, then punch with the front hand, then the back hand, and then any kick with the back leg. It could be front kicks, doesn't matter what the kick is. We're getting the movement of combination concepts into Tiger Cubs. Okay? Then, lastly, something to practice. This will be a fun challenge for the home parents. I encourage you to do this at home with them for the challenges. There's 2 physical challenges. One is to get in a long front stance and to be able to switch back and forth non-stop for 15 seconds. The other is to be able to sit on nothing but your rear end, legs up, hands up. Can't lay on your back. You've got to be able to sit like this and hold for 10 seconds. And that'll be a fun challenge for the Cubs to do versus their parents. Awesome exercise, so on. So those are the things to work on over the weekend for Tiger Cubs. White belts, yellow belts. We talked about combinations on Monday for you to practice at home, and then I said at that time to practice basic combinations but no crescent kicks. I did that for a reason. This time I want us to work basic combinations, but on top of that I want these to be mixed in with crescent kicks. Now, what I want you to think about is 3 situations with crescents. There's really only 3 basic crescent kick options for combinations. Front leg doing an outside crescent is one option. So front leg outside crescent, and then pick any jab, reverse punch, any back leg move. So if you want to do outside crescent, punch, punch, front kick, that's fine. If you want to do outside crescent, punch, punch, round kick, that's fine. Focus is that front leg, outside crescent, punch, punch, and then back leg, any kick you want. Next option is back leg. Notice front leg inside crescent is not a realistic option. There's no power on it. The movement itself is not an easily done movement, and in order for it to even begin, you have to open your body up, which makes it easy to be hit. It's easy to see coming. It's just really not effective and efficient at all. So avoid the front leg outside crescent. Now, back leg inside crescents are fine. So second combination, what you choose, pick any kick with your front leg. So you pick front kick, whatever, punch, punch. Back leg should inside crescent kick. Once that comes across, body should turn, hips should turn. Once that comes across, then bring it to the front. Don't drop it in the front. Don't do this. Then your crescent kick didn't carry through. Don't do this. Now your back is to your opponent. Do that front kick, punch, punch. Do that inside crescent across, and then bring your foot. Once it gets down there, bring your foot back over so you're in that back stance. And then lastly is a combination you can do in place, and that's when your back leg does an outside crescent. Typically that should land behind you. A back leg doing an outside crescent and then trying to land in front puts you in an awkward position, because from here it leaves you open and it's a balance changer. So what I'm going to do is, again, pick any kick with your front leg. So we pick side kick, punch, punch. Outside crescent should land back behind me, so I'm in a back stance. Those are the 3 combinations I want you to work on, white belts, yellow belts. In addition, keep practicing that Ho-Um form. One step, number 1 and number 2 of tactical. Remember, that's on your dashboard. Make sure that you check that. And then yellow belts, make sure you are now doing the full seed form. That's on your dashboard as well. Make sure you contact me if you don't know how to get on dashboard yet, but that's under there on the color belt forms. Full seed form now is what you should be doing. So that'll be our focus for you guys over this weekend. Green belts, blue belts. We were working basic combinations last week and adding, or Monday, and adding, talking about spins, etc., adding advanced techniques to those. We also were talking about the 3 knees. So what I want you to work on now is I actually want you to put knees into basic combinations. So from here, pick any basic combination such as front kick, punch, punch, and then work your knee in. So front kick, punch, punch, knee. Or another option on knee, let's say you did a hook kick, knife hand, ridge hand, that horizontal knee in. Okay. Also, just get that. Think about round kick, knife hand, palm heel, and upwards knee, like you're pulling them in. So work those combinations using the knee, and then at the end of those combinations, or when you're finished practicing those combinations, I still want you practicing advanced moves. Spins, jumps. Those are your focus moves. Green belts, spins. Blue belts, spins and jumps. practice your spin hooks, practice your spin crescents, practice your spin sides, practice your jump fronts, practice your jump rounds. Those are great ones to practice, and do those. Use a chair is great, like I did on the Monday drill. A chair is great to do that with. Then once you've got that, mix it back with your combinations. So let's say we did front kick, punch punch, forward knee, spin side. That would be one example. Mix it up on your own, but pick an advanced move extension option to go with those knees and kind of work all of that together. Make sure you're practicing one steps number 1 and 2. Blue belt, that's now all the one steps you will have to know. Also, you should all know full seed form by now, which is not really a problem for you guys, but make sure you're getting that correct. Check the dashboard, watch the video on the dashboard to make sure you've got the details correct on the turn, and make sure you're not skipping any punches on that. This is what you can work on this weekend and upload it to our Facebook group and get an additional class credit. See you soon on the screen. Brown through black belts. Last week I had you working advanced techniques with the chair. We also talked about knees and stuff, the 3 options on knees that you had. What I want you to do this week is I actually want you to, or this set into this week, is to work your knees, the correct choices on knees, with your combinations and your advanced techniques. So, one example I'm going to give, remember there's 3 knee options. Forward knee, thrusting forward, sending them backwards. The upward knee, where I've grabbed them and pulled them in. And the horizontal knee, where I've come to the side. So, we talked about in class yesterday, what are we setting ourselves up for, what techniques. Starting off, combination, pick your front leg as a front kick or a side kick, something that pushes forward. Jab and reverse punch that pushes forward. Get that thrusting knee that's also going to push forward, and then a spin side kick. I would do 7 on each side, and then do 8, 9, and 10 as a jump spin side kick. Make sure your jump spin side kick moves forward, takes you forward, not just up. Sometimes we can do this up, and we'll talk about that one later. Now, next, that knee that comes upward. Okay, I'm going to say front leg on that twist kick or axe kick or round kick, depending on what you're comfortable with, but something that keeps a person in front of you. So let's say you pick axe kick on that. Okay, hook punch. Now I'm grabbing on to that person. From that movement, grabbing onto that person, that knee should come up. Okay, if that knee comes up, give a short push and then a spin hook to put that person where you want them set. So now, twist, round, or axe, followed by hook punches that have you in tight on that person, and you can grab them and make that knee. Add your spin from there. Lastly, front leg, double round kick, and then let's use your ridge hand here, shift over ridge hand, horizontal knee. Notice I want to get beside that person for that horizontal knee. So I've got to have a move that shifts me over. You could also use the hook punch that goes to the body, shifting in. Either one's fine, but I want to get over to the side for that horizontal knee. Now, since that person is now here and not in front of me, I want to think at that position from here. So I'm going to say spin crescent, and then again make numbers 8, 9, and 10 a jump spin crescent instead of a spin crescent. Those are the combinations to work over the weekend. Upload those to Facebook for class credit. Also, make sure you have got Hoam form. You should have full Hoam form, no problem by now. So make sure that you are practicing that. Make sure you're on that legacy form. You should have the first 2 sections of legacy form learned by now. I know that's a lot more on you. Make sure you go into your dashboard because we can't do that as much virtually. And then number 1 and number 2, both of the advanced 1 steps, those should now be learned. You should have those no problem. So focus on that for the rest of this week, and I will see y'all on the screen.